sufficiently complex that it warrants some context. And to provide that context and in anticipation of some of the questions you might have, we've presented this proposal in the form of a little bit of a presentation. The presentation is a little bit more than 8 minutes long, and it's basically a choreographed argument on behalf of the proposal. So, I am here to state my case for a more beautiful and fulfilling way of life, and to propose a way to get there.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Our purpose here is to tell a new story about life, money, and who we are.
I am here for our minds.
I'm here for our hearts.
My role is to keep us focused on the tangible steps we must take, and to protect us from the leaps of faith, and from the dreaming, and from the vulnerability that our hearts can lead us into.
My role is to keep us connected to each other, and to remind ourselves to love and to trust this process, and to protect us from the mind's tendency to clutch for control and to settle for anything less than the more beautiful world we know is possible.
I am here to represent the mind, but I am here with heart, and I need your heart's attention, because it won't do to simply understand this proposal. You must feel the power and the beauty of our potential to create together.
I'm here as heart, but I need your minds as critical and creative as ever. I'm here to help our minds bow into the service of our hearts.
I am inspired by Occupy Boston's actions and words. In the declaration drafted by your working group on ideas, you gave clear diagnosis. You said the problems and frustrations we face are, quote, symptomatic of money's role in our political and social lives. If we are to be the change we wish to see in the world, we must do more than make accurate diagnoses. We must actually heal what we diagnose. If we want to be more than the pain that sends the message to society's body that there's something wrong here, if we want to actually be the immune system that responds to our economy's ailings and our society's failings, we must create a new role for money in our political and social lives.
I too am inspired. I'm inspired by the opportunity that we have to create an economy that finally enables us to make work an expression of our gifts. I'm inspired by your gifts, the gifts of you, the individual, and of you, the whole, to heal our economy and to heal our entire way of life. Using your gifts will be the medicine needed for both you and the world.
But unless we create new economic structures, we won't be able to give our gifts, because we live under the gun, demanding that we sacrifice our lives for money. The new economy we're proposing is rooted in real work and tangible projects, specifically projects that revitalize manufacturing to meet our renewable energy needs, and projects that relocalize our food supply, projects that build the infrastructure of an eco-city. But we must stop criticizing banks and governments, and we must simply create and govern our own banks that fund these projects. We, on behalf of your heart and your mind, propose that Occupy Boston create a bank that issues, circulates, and stores a new medium of exchange, a new currency. A currency that in its very structure prevents the hyper inequality we face and empowers us to support each other's gifts and potentials.
Our new money will behave like everything else in nature. It will decay over time. Just like a loaf of bread about to go stale, it will be wiser to share it than to hoard it.
Corporate debt money, on the other hand, is interest-bearing. And interest makes it so that those who have money and the banks that create it grow richer not by creating or giving or contributing to the good of the whole, but they get richer merely by owning. Interest grows the wealth of those who have instead of those who earn.
We can change not only what it means to be rich, but we can change the motivations and qualities of every economic exchange by altering the behavior of money. We're infusing the spirit of the gift into our economy by creating a money that values what we value. We value each other's gifts. We value strong relationships and community. We value ample time for leisure and play. And we value a beautiful planet that's vibrantly alive.
We don't need to convince corporations or politicians to support what we value. We don't need to fight or beg the 1%. We don't need to pander to the rest of the 99%. We simply need to create a new model that makes this existing model obsolete. And your skeptical mind might be beginning to doubt the soundness of the underlying economics. But please note that we have some flyers to help alleviate those doubts. And also please note, this has been done successfully in the past, during the Great Depression. And that the world's most influential economists advocated that leaders adopt similar currencies.
The system won't work until people trust it and until people trust each other. Any money must facilitate the flow of things that we actually need. Our minds are scared of the transition we're stepping into, and our ability to trust has been compromised by the competition we endure daily for scarce money. Our new money will help us overcome the fear of this unfamiliar territory.
That is why our currency, the currency we propose, will be backed. Just as all money was once backed by gold, our money will be backed by the things sacred to us. So imagine you have some of this new locally created currency. Would you doubt its value if the bank backed it with the organic food you need to feed your family, or the solar electricity needed to power your business, or your monthly supply of T-passes, or a portion of your rent, or anything that satisfies your basic needs? What would be the reason to distrust it?
To clarify our proposal, we articulate it into two threads.
First, we propose that Occupy Boston formally endorse the creation of a medium of exchange and the accompanying organization needed to provide the basis of a sacred economy. That is, an economy that allows us to do what is most meaningful to us while living in a sustainable relationship to the earth.
Second, we propose that each of us, every day, choose to give the gifts that are most needed. The world right now is in desperate need of these gifts, and whether that's just a hug or a smile or looking into someone else's eyes and seeing them, so poor have our relationships become amongst each other.
Thank you. It will take courage to act with such faith in your gifts and potentials. But the system we face is so powerful and so entrenched, and our economy's effect on the world is so awful and so pervasive that we believe we need miracles. And that is why your courage and your faith are called for.
But it's okay, because miracles come naturally when there's harmony between mind and heart.
We are grateful that you have created this space for us.
And I'm grateful for you, just for being you. And I'm grateful for you allowing me to be me.
I need your gifts, and you need mine.
That's the definition of community.
So let our new community grow from occupying together to creating together. Let us not be remembered as Occupy Wall Street or an offshoot called Occupy Boston. But instead, if we act with trust in our vision and our gifts, we could be known as Recreate Wall Street, or perhaps the founders of Boston's Bank of Gratitude, the first conscious step towards a sacred economy the world is taking. Join us in defining an identity for this movement that is demonstrated by what we create. And join us in creating what we value. Join us in valuing you and me as part of each other. And join us in valuing your being as part of the earth. And the earth is part of your being. Join us in valuing life as a sacred opportunity to love and to give and to play together. These are the values of the economy we propose, and the money that will flow through its veins. We deserve nothing less. We should settle for nothing less. And we shouldn't wait for anyone else to create it for us.
Thank you. We're the ones we've been waiting for.
We'll take questions, and we're going to pass around some of these flyers.
Okay. So you all who have questions, put up a C, please. If you don't have questions, that was weird. Then that was an announcement, and you messed up horribly.
I have a question.
Question.
Hi.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Are you working
Working
with some of the established progressive finance groups like Mondragon and the Common Finance Bank
and the Common Finance Bank
and the Time Trade Barter?
and the Time Trade Barter.
Not yet, but we're anticipating connecting with all of these groups.
More.
So I'd like to put him on individual staff.
They can talk to us over here.
And we're going to go back and have the conversation. I would
Okay.
like if you could just do it now, but I don't know if they're going to let you.
Do you expect your proposal
to work within the current system?
to work within the current system?
We suspect that initially currency can circulate without completely replacing the dollar. In fact, it's completely absurd to think that it could completely replace the dollar. But no, I think that this provides an alternative model, and that's what's needed.
Make sure they announce it. I'm right here. They're right here.
Did you say there were handouts?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
So it seems like these folks want to move on. And who?